It's like, bruh, just like vibe coded it. Yeah, sweet. Nice one, mate. Literally no security. I don't know if he said to whoever he was using to code it, like, make it secure. That's not a guarantee, but that can help, right? But I don't know. He's not even done that, I don't think. So massive security problem. All of this private data is now out on the internet, has been leaked. So that's not the best look. And then, as I mentioned earlier, like a lot of the posts were manual. It just ends up being crypto bros being like, yeah, man, buy my new meme coin, and then doing pump and dump schemes because there were no, there were no like rate limits or anything. So you could just upvote like your post as either as much as you wanted, or maybe you needed to spin up multiple agents to do that. But the long and the short of it is you could get your post to the top and it was like, buy my meme coin. So that's what's ended up happening. The crypto bros have jumped in and they've tried to do a pump and dump and make a bit of money. Cool. So that's Moltbook, not ideal. OpenClaw, that's a different kettle of fish. So I actually think this is where AI is going. The downside of that are some of the security risks. A load of people are buying Mac Minis. They're like, look, I'll compartmentalize it on this machine. And I don't think you need to do that. You can either put it on a virtual private server or you can put it on like a Raspberry Pi, something much smaller. The thing about the Mac Minis are they're well expensive. Like you're talking thousands, not hundreds of pounds. And if you're running a local model, let's say like Qwen, for example, which is, in my opinion, the closest model for coding to something like Claude Code, but it's just nowhere near as good. And it runs sequentially, so it's not in parallel, so you can't have multiple agents running at once, meaning you're better off using something like Claude or OpenAI or whatever, using their compute power and then just running it on a much smaller machine that you can compartmentalize. Because if you buy a Mac Mini, you're probably going to want to do like video editing on it and these kind of things. I guess you could like not store your files there or move them about, but it just seems to me like complete overkill unless you want to run the model locally. So maybe that's where it's going. Anyway, hopefully that was somewhat informative. Long and the short of it is, for now, don't go out and buy a Mac Mini. Be very careful if you're going to use OpenClaw, and don't believe the hype. All right. See you later. See you next time. Whatever.